Welcome back, everybody, to 31 2000s horror movies for Halloween, where I'm counting down my favorite horror movies from the year 2000 to 2009. So, at number 21, we have another Australian movie. I don't know if a lot of people would have this on their top 31, but it's on my top 31 because it is a very suspenseful and unsettling movie for me, and that movie is Black Water. Another movie with a simple idea executed so well. You have these three friends that are on vacation in Australia. That seems to be a common theme with Australian movies, but anyway. They're on vacation in Australia, and they decide to go on a fishing trip in a mangrove swamp. So this guy takes them in this small boat. They're going fishing in the mangroves, and the water's high, so you have trees all around, but you have high water. Well, their boat gets overturned by a crocodile. The guide gets killed, and now you have these three people trapped in a tree with the boat just out of reach. Their cell phones fell in the water, so naturally they don't work, and now they're stuck in this tree with murky water all around them. They can't see the crocodile, but there's a crocodile in the water waiting for them.
Adam, get out! Adam, get out! It's coming back! Adam, it's a croc! Get out!
Something that I am very open about on this channel is that the two kinds of movies that scare me the most are serial killer movies and any movie that has to do with water. I almost drowned when I was a kid, on two separate occasions, but I almost drowned when I was a kid, so drowning is my number one fear. The water, I can swim just fine, but I need to know that when I'm swimming, I need to be able to put my feet on the ground and have my head above water if I need to. And I do not like being in water where I cannot see what's going on around me. In the ocean where it's so deep and you can't see what's going on, or in a pond where the water's murky and I can't see what's around me, that terrifies me. So Black Water is a perfect horror movie for me. Sharks are fascinating and terrifying, and crocodiles are fascinating and terrifying. And crocodiles and alligators are much more frightening than sharks because they can go on the water and on land. But yeah, this is another movie with a very simple plot executed so well. You just have these people trapped in a tree with murky water all around them and a crocodile. We don't see the crocodile too much. It is very Jaws-like in that aspect where we don't see the animal most of the time, but it's a crocodile. You know what a crocodile can do. And we do see the crocodile every now and again, but it's such a intense movie for me because of the murky water. Because there are scenes and moments where the people have to get in the water, and I'm on edge the entire time. I'm going like, oh God, get out of the water, don't be in there. I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm sorry, murky water scares the hell out of me. I almost drowned, this shit scares me.
Get down, lie down.
What I like about this movie is, okay, the crocodile is technically not practical effects, and it's digital effects. What the filmmakers did was they went to a crocodile sanctuary and they filmed actual crocodiles and then digitally put them into the movie. So whenever there's a scene where you see the crocodile in the movie, it looks like a real crocodile, and it's very well done. One of the things I love the most about this movie is that every decision the characters make is completely rational. It's not one of those movies where the characters are only making dumb decisions to move the plot forward. It's a movie where the characters don't have much choice, and none of the decisions are good, but they have to make one of them. So, we know that cell phones are a bit of a hiccup when it comes to horror movies. Why don't people just call the police? They have to do something, like, the cell phones have to conveniently have no signal. In this movie, it makes perfect sense why the cell phone doesn't work. The boat was overturned. The characters fell into the water. The water ruined the cell phone. It's a natural way to handle that in the movie. But yeah, so the boat is overturned and far away, and there's like, the line is hooked under something, and the characters are just waiting there. And like I said, it's one of those movies where there are only a couple decisions you have and none of them are good. We can either do this one that's not safe or this one that's not safe, but we gotta do one of them because we're in a bad spot here. We don't have any options. Like, one of the options is to wait and see if someone shows up. They're in a mangrove swamp. They hadn't seen anyone for hours. They don't have any water to drink. They don't have any food to eat. So they could wait and hope that somebody shows up, but someone might not show up, and they haven't seen anyone for hours, so they might have they could die of dehydration and exposure and all that.
And there's hundreds and hundreds of miles of estuarine and mangroves along the river. No one's coming.
Yeah, well, I still think we should just wait.
When did we last see another boat?
The only other option is to get in the water and try to flip that boat over and use that boat to get out of there. That's not a good situation either. And there's a perfect scenario set up at the start, like towards the beginning of the film. The boat is overturned, two of the characters get onto the tree, and another character climbs onto the top of the boat. She's on top of the overturned boat, and she can't stay there. So she has to get in the water to get to the tree because, okay, the boat's not too safe. The tree is the safest option, but the only way to get there is go through the water. So the choices are stay on the boat, which isn't safe, or get in the water to get to the tree that is safer, but getting in the water ain't safe either. You see what I'm talking about in creating scenarios where there is no good decision, where there aren't any good options, but you have to make one of them, and that's a perfect way to build suspense and set up your horror movie. You don't have to rely on the characters only making stupid decisions. You can put them in the scenario where there are no real good decisions, but you have to make a decision because that's the only way you're gonna live. It's either do one of these options which aren't safe to begin with, or die. Those are your options. And they set it off well because, again, the characters do think rationally. They try the cell phone at first, but the cell phone doesn't work because it went in the water. They try waiting for someone to come, but hours pass and no one shows up and they're getting dehydrated. There is a scene where one of them goes across the mangroves to try and see if they can get to land, and it gets to a point where the mangrove trees end and there's nothing but water ahead of them, so they can't really get out that way. It's just perfect setup. Solid setup for this movie. And of course, we have the crocodile action, and the crocodile action is very well done. It's that perfect setup where we don't need to see the crocodile. We know the crocodile's there. And just the most brilliant setup of it is the fact that it's just murky water. There's a crocodile here, we can't see it because the water's murky. Such a simple setup, and it works so well.
Remember those brothers? Those brothers who were there every year. Paul.
Yeah, Mick and Paul Davies.
I know a lot of people might not agree with me on this one, but Black Water is one of my favorite horror movies from the 2000s. It's such a suspenseful experience for me. I watch this movie, I'm on edge because of my relationship with water. But yeah, it is a very suspenseful movie. I highly recommend giving this one a shot. Very underrated movie, very suspenseful movie. If you are like me, and are uneasy around the water, you will be on the edge of your seat with this one, kind of rocking back and forth. This was a movie where I had a hard time sitting down while watching it. I had to stand up while watching it because my nerves were so shot by the situation. But that's just me. But yeah, Black Water, very underrated movie, very simple horror movie. I would suggest checking this one out. This is one of the most suspenseful movies to come out during the 2000s, in my opinion.
Ha 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 ha!